I went from being a water safety officer then into teaching. My standard, or like the highest standard possible, is problem solving skills. What made it hard for you?
Just having the confidence when you're in front of a massive crowd. You just feel like the spotlight's on you. You feel like everyone's judging you.
Why I started this actual business really is because I do this anyway, and I've seen so much good results from it. Why don't I just teach it to more people? All right, so welcome to Diesel Entertainment Academy podcast. I go from Diesel, and we have Lane over here who is actually doing all the questions in our podcast because she's training to be a, what is it again, Lane?
Journalist,
there we go. So she's crafted these questions to be amazing, and it's just get to know some of our academies or people that I've trained in the past through my DJ company, Diesel Productions. And yeah, take it over, Lane, I reckon.
Cool. So, Daniel, what is the biggest gig you've done?
So obviously, I've been in the industry for about 13 years, a long, long time. And really, it's just been really every year I've uplifted every single year. Every year I've done more gigs. I've done better gigs, and I keep evolving over time. But the ones that really kept with me, I feel, is the gigs that I do for more than 4 hours. So the audiences that I got to get them to dance for more than 4 hours. And one of them was, I've got tons because I've done that many, done probably nearly 2,000 gigs in the time. But one that sticks out is Leroy's 18th. It was from 7 and they booked me till 1 and they kept me going till 3:30 a.m. And this is at a house that had a marquee. I'm just going to try and picture the whole thing. They had a marquee and everyone was there, probably 150, 180. And basically they came on the dance floor from 8:30 and they didn't stop till 3:30 a.m. And that's pretty crazy, about 7+ hours of non-stop dancing. And from his gig, I end up getting close to about 40 of their friends in about 4 years, maybe more, maybe 60 of their friends that we did their 18ths for. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
The second one I'd say was Georgia and Matt's wedding at Coral Bay.
Yep.
It was at their family house. Yeah, wow, it was crazy. I started at 7 o'clock and they came on the dance floor straight away, and it didn't stop till after midnight. And one of their guests, Brad Shepherd, came up to me and was like, where's the after party? Let's keep going. It was crazy. So the longer I can get everyone dancing, the better it is. And there's tons of more cocktail weddings that I've done where it's just nonstop dancing, 5 hours of nonstop dancing. And yeah, they keep emailing me or giving a testimony that their feet are so sore that they've been dancing for so long. And that's probably some of the biggest gigs I've done. Some of the most memorable were definitely from Georgia and Matt's wedding, Brad Shepherd and Ellen Shepherd's wedding in Broome. That was crazy. Once they got on the dance floor and did their first dance, it didn't stop. I got comments from a lot of their guests from another booking that we booked in a few months ago. I can't really say any names or anything, but what they told them was that all their guests couldn't even go to the toilet, couldn't even get a drink because they were dancing. I was just playing so many bangers. And at that wedding, I just made it so creative and enhanced what they wanted to do. And I think Brad came up to me and was like, I really want this song. I really want Perfect played. And I was like, okay. Initially, at the start, we were doing, let me think, Diamonds. It was like original version, like an acoustic version of Diamonds. And I cut it up a little bit, and then it was going into the Diamonds Rihanna. And then it went straight to a dance track that I word played. And then it went into a Kanye West Diamond's wordplay into We Found Love. And then boom, went to dance. And then I was like, okay, how am I going to get to this? And it wasn't, I just pinned how I was going to get there. And Ellen also wanted another song, was like another kind of like slow song. And I was like, oh, Ellen, I reckon we can put that during dinner. And then she's like, I really want that in dancing section. I said, okay. I made sure that happened. And from dance, I just went really creative and dropped it down, went to Untouched, into a double drop of Wonderwall, because it works perfectly. And then from there, it went into Perfect, because it straight away drops into like sing along into Perfect. Brad went to find his mum and got that chance to dance with her, and that was probably the most memorable moment there. And just seeing that everything what I did, it was off the fly. Never, this is exactly how step by step, because who knows how it's going to happen on the night, but that's how I got there, and that was very, very memorable. And yeah, I just wish I could keep going for that one. Some of the definitely the memorable school events that I've done was Scotch College School Ball 2020. Yeah, that was next level of insane. I don't know how many people there were, probably like 300 plus. And yeah, it was just packed all night long, didn't stop. And yeah, that was a really, it did have its challenges, that one. But I overcame it, and it was really, really fun. And then also all the Santa Maria balls that I've been doing. So 2023 and, well, actually it was 2024 and this year, 2025. They were mental. About 280 students. And it was just non-stop dancing, just getting everyone interacting. I don't know, it was just so crazy. Just more people, the better, I feel, especially with the balls. And I got the opportunity to go and DJ in Greece. EOS Greece was another cool opportunity that I got to do. Ended up DJing in every single bar there. I would say about 12 bars and clubs there. One of the biggest ones was Fire Out Beach Club, which is one of the top beach clubs in the world, and I got to DJ there. That was pretty cool. I jumped on the DJ table and was hyping up the crowd and stuff. It was pretty cool. And then also something that was really funny as well. One of the bars, I had a night off, and then I ended up just DJing at all these other bars, and one of the big bars was Pash Bar, and that goes to like 6 a.m. And one of the very big things that they do over there is they play a song called Helicopter by Block Party. And basically, when that's played, everybody takes their tops off and they swing it around like this and whatever. So I knew there was a lot of like Aussies in this bar. So I was like, all right, let's play like Eagle Rock. So I think I played Helicopter first. Everyone took their tops off, including the girls on the bar. They're all standing on the bar, and I was like, let's play Eagle Rock. So I played Eagle Rock, and everyone got naked, pretty much. Girls were like this. Everyone was like this. It was just loose. But I think that was pretty funny because I got to DJ till like 6 a.m. to like early mornings in the morning and playing all that kind of stuff there. Yeah, that was really fun. So I think that was pretty memorable about DJing internationally. Yeah, that's pretty much it, yeah.
Well, out of the hundreds and hundreds of gigs you've done, what would you say has been the most challenging?
Most challenging. So I've done a lot of them, and there's been quite a lot that's been challenging that I've tried to overcome or try to get through. Sometimes I'm like, during a gig, and you always have this, you're like, no one's going to dance. And eventually they come on and dance, and they don't stop to the end. Or they keep going till the early mornings of the morning, and you're like, wow, that was succeeding. But some that really stuck out. I think one when I went over to Miami and got the opportunity to DJ at Red Nightclub on the Royal Caribbean. I was going back to back with another DJ, and he was like he was playing a song and then he changed the next song and he's like, all right, you're next now. So initially I had one song in mind and then I changed it and I really wasn't thinking, but I just played it anyway. I played Eminem, Lose Yourself, and they're from the East Coast and they're from Miami. So I was getting boos. So imagine that, getting booed at the one of the first times you ever played or one of the few times you play in America, and you're like, how do I get out of this? How do I get out of this? So it just straight away clicked, and I was like, okay, cool. I need to make sure that I'm playing to my crowd and know what they want. They're on the East Coast. I shouldn't be playing anything from the West Coast or anything like that. So I was like, okay, they're all from Spain, they're all from Mexico. So play that kind of like, all that kind of like, I don't know, J-Lo, Pitbull, Despacito, and all those kind of stuff. And then once I got them all on the dance floor and got them to my side, I had them there and I kept them going. But that was a big challenging moment that I just problem solved on the spot without even knowing. And then from those each things that made me challenged, I always get through and go, how can I make it better? What can I do better next time so it doesn't happen again? And that's exactly what I did on all the times. So I looked at it like, just do your research, 100%. Another one that I did recently was Lachelle and Anthony's wedding at the Crown, Perth. It was mostly about the emceeing side of things. So sometimes you might have really, really challenging guests and people that attend, and you can't really get their attention. They were very dry, and you've probably seen from a video that I posted not recently where it was like crickets when I was trying to get their attention. And that's pretty much what it was. I was trying everything to get their attention and eventually got them on my side, and got them engaging, got them clapping, got them going to what I had to do. And then everyone was getting their napkins going like this and getting the bridal party into the reception. And it was really, really hype and got them there. And just, I've done a school ball one time and no one danced. I tried everything. I even interacted with them. I tried to get them off their chairs. I tried everything and I couldn't do it. I was really in tears. I was in tears. And I called my mentor Brian, and he's probably been in the industry for about, I'd say I call him my dad, and he's taught me a lot of stuff in the entertainment industry and interacting with everybody, and a lot of school balls. And he said, sometimes your people who attend don't really want to get on the dance floor. So it's quite hard for you. You might be the amazing DJ, might be the best DJ ever, but if sometimes they just don't want to dance, and that's something that you can't control because they won't get off their chairs, or they just might just like talking or whatever, and that's nothing for you to blame. It's just keep going to the next one. And I've also had Mateo do the same. He rang me the same thing. He rang me one day and was like, I tried everything. I couldn't get the oldies on the dance floor. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. And he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, rah, rah. And I said, hey, I gave him that same advice. And he was like, wow, that's really a lot. And I said, it's happened to me as well. So yeah, sometimes it doesn't work, but you just got to keep going and keep a high head. And yeah.
Yeah. What do you love most about DJing?
What I love most about DJing, I feel like I'm a very creative person, and I love bringing my creativity to what I do, to the art, because it's an art. It's not a technology or anything. It's an art. It's how you bring your art, or how you bring your soul to this art of DJing, an art of music, and also becoming very creative, more creative, and also interacting with my guests and clients and things like that. That's probably one of the biggest things that I absolutely love and love to teach as well, is being interactive and being is using your mic to your advantage, rather than hiding behind a mic or hiding behind a desk is the big thing. And also just being entertaining, because you're the life of the party, really. If you're having fun, everyone else will be having fun. Even though what I always do is I get the energy from my crowd, and if the crowd are showing me a lot of energy, I'll give it 10 times more. And that's how I show it. And that's probably one of the big ones. And really, it's just a good feeling to see all your clients and all your guests having the time of their lives, really, and seeing them coming home and sore feet and amazing testimonies and getting them to book me again or things like that. I feel like what we do is for our clients, and that's why I love most about, especially privates.
On top of that, what do you love most about teaching others your craft?
Teaching others in the craft?
Yeah.
It's mostly seeing the results, what they get, I'd say. What we taught them to at our shows. So more or less the results from the clients' testimonies and things like that. And also seeing them grow from their performance over the masses. So DJing from going from no gigs to DJing in the bedroom to DJing in front of so many people, and just getting that self-confidence, I feel. And really, it's just what we teach is really elevating them to give those wow moments for their guests, their clients, and for them to be booking again and again and again. And that's the key, I think. The key is to get your clients or your guests who are attending to keep you booking you over and over again. You shouldn't be leaving them without saying amazing words or anything like that. So yeah.
So there's obviously lots of other academies out there, but what makes Diesel Academy different to the others?
So Diesel Entertainment Academy is very different because we teach the business of DJing, and as well as in the private event space. So the business of DJing, no one taught me how to run a business. There's a lot of creatives out there that they think it's just easy just to press play or mix music. And it's not just that. There's more than just pressing play on a few things or being a photographer or a videographer and just shooting and taking photos, because that's the easy part of what we do. The hard part is behind the scenes, what we do behind the scenes, talking to our clients, making sure all our accounts are correct, our accountings and branding, marketing, social media, how to use that to your advantage, everything. It's more than just that. And especially in the private event space, it is a completely different scene to the club scene, especially on the business side of things. I feel like there's a huge difference between clubs and privates. The real difference is you're talking to clients, and at privates and clubs, you're talking to promoters or those kind of things. And I personally just love my privates, and I've always done it and always been in there. So yeah, I think that's the big difference, I reckon.
What are some common struggles students have?
Some common struggles? So really, I feel like I've had a few students in here, and it's really the bad habits that they have, especially to get them out of their old ways. So the bad habits would be like maybe they've been mixing this certain way all the time, and it's hard to get them out of that kind of what they've always been doing. So not many people know that I've been a swim teacher my whole life, and from that, I think I've done it for about 4, maybe longer than that. I reckon 4 to 8 years or something like that. And I went from just being a water safety officer at the beach, just seeing if everyone's all good as a safety officer, then into teaching bronze medallion and bronze star, and then doing my teachers, and straight away became like the deputy at the beach, and then also became the supervisor, which means I had to teach teachers how to teach, and I had old ones and I had younger ones. The old ones were very hard to teach, very, very hard to get them out of their old ways, but some of them did listen and some of them took in the advice. And there's always a way of approaching those kind of people in a certain manner to make sure that they're open to be learnt or taught. And that's the hardest part, I feel. But going back to like the common struggles, really, it's just getting them out of their old ways and telling them the reason why we do what we do, and just showing them different avenues of the old way, the new way, the old way, the new way, and getting them to understand it. I'm not going to tell them I'm not going to spoon feed you. We're not in high school or anything like that. I teach you the proper way of understanding why we do everything. So yeah, I think that's the best way.
So what were Mateo and I like when we first started up?
So,
and what moments showed you that we were stepping up as a DJ?
Okay, I'll give you your point of view. So you came to me, and what happened back then was you stood out of all the applicants, I felt. The biggest one was you were eager to learn, I think. And one thing that you really didn't like was at your school ball that you had the DJ who never took on requests. I felt like that what shaped you to be the DJ who you are today. You're able to take on a request. You're doing what you don't like to see, and you're doing what you like to see. And that's very critical. And you always take on all the requests that all the guests do, and able to play it in a certain way. And I feel like it's just your personality in hindsight. The first gig that you came with me was an 18th, and I didn't say anything how you had to act or anything. You straight away went to the birthday girl and said, she was very intoxicated, but she said, "Hope you had an amazing birthday. Thank you so much for having us." And I was just like, wow, like that is just something simple but super nice and super generic, to not generic, but something personal. And the nice personality that you have was out of this world, and you're super nice with all our clients. And that comes a long way, because that's what private event DJing is all about. It's about our clients. It's not about you. So it should be definitely taking your ego away. And yeah, and that was the start, I feel. And then going on, it was more or less like, I know you were very timid in every gig that we did. I was like, all right, you're coming on, let's go. You're doing a wedding. And you did those stings, I think they're called, where you play the song before the speeches and stuff. And I was emceeing, and you did really good. I remember another DJ company came up, or another DJ came to me. He's like, "Oh, has you ever had like other DJs that stuff that up, those things?" And I was like, "No, they're amazing. I don't know. They should be doing the right thing. It's not hard." But you did really well in that set. And then also like the training that we went through of like doing each mix and going through all those, and each time you were leveling up because you were listening to what we were doing, I feel. I think that was the major parts. And then after the first one, it was a testimony. After the second one, it was a testimony. And after every single one, there was a testimony at the end of it. I just let you do it once I felt like the right time. And that's how I've been taught in myself. I just did the exact same and tried to mentor you as much as you could. And when you had questions, I answered them and we went through them. And I think that was pretty much the stepping stone of you leveling up, I feel. And then basically by the end of it, you were fine. You were perfect. And then Mateo, I feel what I saw in him was, it was more or less, he was willing to do gigs, and he was always available, and he was always keen to learn. He was always wanting to learn more things, I felt. I think I took him in. I met him at one of their cousins' weddings or friends' weddings, I think. It was cousins. The cousin was in the bridal party, I think. And then he came to the engagement party that I did, and I DJ'd for like 5.5 hours, and they started on dance. Came in at about 6 o'clock. Jake and Abigail's engagement party, and then they were on the dance floor at 7:30. And I was like, okay, cool, this is going to be fun. But I think I saw him doing like gigs for himself, and I was like, okay, I think you're ready. And I gave him a few gigs, and yeah, step by step, he was going really good. And it was just more or less the testimonies, I feel. Testimonies are huge. And that's what, if my clients are happy, or the clients or the testimonies that you get, and the clients are really happy, or the comments I get from clients are really happy, that's when I know you're leveling up. And every single step, I feel like the biggest one was him going from, because I'd done a lot of mentoring with him as well, and a lot of calls. I would always answer and have a chat with him about the mentoring behind going there. And he went from like a solo op into a multi-op. So now I think he has 4 DJs that work under him. So I think that's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy to see. I think, yeah.
So when someone joins Diesel Academy, what qualities make you think they're really going to thrive here?
So I think the biggest thing is open to learn. They're able to learn, or be open to learn. Really, that's the biggest one. That's the biggest one. I had a team member that worked for me, and I picked up a few things that were very bad, like really mixing wise. And that's one of my qualities that I keep in my company, is to make sure that their mixing is to the standard. It's just the basics, really. It's pretty simple. But he wasn't there. It wasn't good. And so I said, hey, I would love to coach you and teach you, just some simple basic stuff. And really, he didn't really want to get taught after the first lesson. And I was just like, no, sorry, that's it. No more. So that's the biggest one. The biggest one is you're willing to learn and listen as well. So I think the second one, especially if you're going to thrive in the private event space, is your personality. Definitely, because you got to think about more or less your clients that you serve, rather than yourself. You shouldn't be thinking about, I like this song because I'm going to play it. What if the client doesn't like that kind of type of music? You shouldn't be playing that kind of stuff. Or I have so many chats with a lot of DJs, and especially 21st. I go, how do you normally do your 21st? And they're like, the same old way. And I'm like, what if the client wants this type of genres? What would you do then? Oh, okay. And I make them think in a different way to go, okay, I understand now. So it's not about them. It's to leave their ego away, and it's to be more on for their clients, or whatever their clients wants, really, and just being really nice to their clients, and just really genuine, and do whatever they want to do, or however they want to achieve their event and stuff like that. And yeah, the third thing I did touch on it is listening skills, is able to listen and take in all the information that we teach. I'm not someone that here's a spoon, eat it. No, I'm someone that will teach you exactly what I said before, is to understand why we do it, and to able to you to bring it in and learn. And that's what I do with a lot of my, I might say that a bit later, a lot of my students that I teach when I was swimming as well. These are ones that, like, if you're going to thrive even more to like my standard, or like the highest standard possible, is problem solving skills. I shouldn't be getting a call at in middle of my gig, or at the start of your gig, or whenever. How do you do this? How do you do this? How do you fix this program? Or how do you, there's something wrong or whatever. It's for you to work it out, and for you to take on your own initiative. And the last thing was definitely your brain. You got to have a maths brain. So all my friends who did engineering, and I'm a qualified engineer, and it's just easy. Like, DJing is all about maths, all about your eights, your 30s, 32s, and that's it. But you just got to have that maths / creative brain, I'd say. All my friends who are engineers are also DJs as well, and there's tons of them. So, yeah, that's really the main parts.
What's a moment that made you feel proud watching someone you've trained?
Okay, so I'll bring Matteo back into the podcast about what I had taught him how to. So one day we had this MC masterclass with all my staff and things, and from all the things that I've taught in my company Diesel Productions is why I started this actual business. Really, is because I do this anyway, and I've seen so much good results from it. Why don't I just teach it to more people, and so more people can elevate themselves? And before I even started my company, or when I started going full time, was I really want to elevate not just DJs in the industry, but everyone who's a creative or anybody who needs help, or any business people, to elevate their business, to elevate themselves, and especially in the DJ industry, because I look at a lot of American DJs and a lot of their agencies and companies, and they're crazy. They're like here, and we're like here. And it takes us 2 years to get whatever Queensland and Melbourne are doing, or Sydney. It takes us 2 to 3 years to get what they're doing. We should be elevating ourselves. I know we're a small town or whatever, but that's why I love to just elevate us as in Perth, and as well as in Australia and the world, really to elevate us to be where we are. And so going back to the story there with the MC Masterclass, what we did is I had all my staff in there and try to teach them more of the MCing side of things, because I feel like it's very critical on talking in front of a mic, because that's pretty hard. Is that right, Lane?
Yep.
What made it hard for you?
Just having the confidence, because when you're in front of a massive crowd, you just feel like the spotlight's on you. You feel like everyone's judging you, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
People don't care.
People don't care. I definitely felt the same thing. And that's why I did this masterclass. Was I think at that Scotch College ball I completely froze. There was 400 people's eyes on me, and I was just like, I'm just going to play some music. And once I played some music, I felt a lot more comfortable, and it was easy to get it back on the mic and able to interact with them. And that's what I did. But after Matteo did the MC Masterclass, he learnt so much from it and was able to just hone all the skills that we learnt. I'm sure he learnt a few skills as well, but I felt like there's more the confidence booster, and gave him a full rundown of how MCing at a wedding does. He's definitely seen me at a wedding before, but really, if you're a guest at a wedding, you don't really pay attention too much. You don't understand, this is how you do it. But once you put your mind to it, then you actually understand. So I'm going to read out a testimony from the wedding that he did a few weeks later. So it was more so we had Matteo from Diesel Productions to be our DJ and MC for the wedding last night. We were absolutely blown away by him. Matteo was just absolutely incredible. His ability to MC and hype up the crowd was so valuable to our night, and he did such an amazing job. He did so amazingly at picking songs at the perfect time, and transitioned into songs were great. We couldn't have picked a better DJ for our nights, and we were so appreciative to him for making our nights. Matteo even went out of his way at the end of the night to go and grab everyone who went inside, brought them back out, and pulled them for a sing-along so we could end our night with a precious moment. It was one of our favourite memories of the night, and meant the world that Matteo had organised that special moment for us. What was such a lovely surprise. We just thought of the world of him, and was very, very pleased with him. We couldn't recommend him enough. Thank you heaps, Danny and Michaela. And just from that, he'd never done MCing before, and I felt like Billy did MC. It was just legit on the spot. He just had to MC, and he did it. So I felt like that was really cool. And the second one, I'd say I'm very proud of. I had Dion in for some lessons, some private lessons, before the gig, before we had a school ball gig for him, and I felt like from before he started mixing that I've seen, it was really, really bad. It was really bad that you could hear the problems. And I know if, say you send your mix to your mum, go, Mum, can you listen to my mix? What do you think? She'll tell you it's truthful. And my mum's told me that a few times, not me, but she's gone like, oh, that doesn't sound good. Oh, that's not good. So they're going to be pretty truthful. And even like listening to the videos that we're making, you could hear it straight away. And I was just like, okay. I was trying to, because every song is very different. Like, especially 80s songs and things like that are very hard to mix. And there's ways of mixing it in and out. And there's ways of going through the song. So by the end of the 2 lessons, there was so much more confidence that he had. There was less excuses that he was bringing on, and there was trying to get out of his old ways of him getting taught by his brother Matteo, but just to get him a new set of eyes of, this is also how you do it as well, and how does that sound? And he was like, okay, that sounds really good. And then we did a few more advanced things, but the biggest thing was the testimony from the client. And that's all, like, not really what I cared about, but it was a big stepping stone to see that it was a proud moment. And this is what the school said. So we booked DJ Dion from our school ball through Diesel Productions. Students danced the night away, and we had a positive feedback from students and staff. Thank you. I did that school like 2018, 2019, and it was such a good night. Everyone danced all night long. And then I think they went to, I'm not sure what they did, but don't think they got a DJ or anything. And then I think the teachers did tell him on the night that they were all dancing so much better than the last few years, that they didn't have a DJ. So yeah.
Do you have a success story from the academy that stands out?
All right, here we go. So I will tell you the full timeline of this, so you know where the timeline is. So a school approached me and said, we really need a female DJ to DJ our graduation. And I was like, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I don't have really any female DJs. I do, but I think I can find someone. I think I can train someone up. So I found Lane here, and over the year, or I think it was about 7 months or so, it was about 7 months that we trained you for this gig. I was training you for this gig initially. So you did Santa Maria graduation, the 2024 graduation, and you went from 0 gigs to DJing in front of 600 people. It's pretty insane. And the biggest things, what really touched me, and what I was telling all the teachers when I was there, because I saw you and it was good to see you in person, well, actually you DJing, was just a really proud moment that I had. Yeah, I was just so proud that to see you from the 0 gigs that you did, or really timid or unconfident, to just doing it and just giving it a go and doing it the best you did. And a few of the things that I was like, oh, let's do this technique. It was a double drop or something. I think it was, I can't remember, peanut butter jelly, and do you remember it?
Shout out to my ex.
Shout out to my ex. Yep. You double dropped that we were like, that's going to work well together, and you did it perfectly. And I think the other one, what was the other one? The double drop that we taught you?
Oh,
do you remember?
It was Rihanna.
Yeah.
With
Fiend.
Yeah.
Fiend. It was We Found Love and Fiend.
That was crazy.
That was cool, eh?
But it went off.
That went off. So things like that, little things that we've taught previously, that you did it at your show, and especially the interacting.
Yeah.
The interacting was pretty crazy. That was really cool to see. And Yeah, what was the biggest part of that part? I'd say the interacting part. You said on all those the TikTok and stuff.
Yeah. Um, I don't remember what I said on the TikTok, but I think just having a girl was so much better as well because I could just obviously connect with the other girls,
Yeah.
and they were just so lovely. It was a really good crowd as well. All the parents were on the dance floor, and it was just really nice to see everyone's having such a good time.
And what about the ending? What about the ending?
The ending.
The ending.
Oh, we got all the students and teachers in a circle, and that was really beautiful for their last song. I can't remember what song it was, but
Mr. Brightside.
oh,
Mr. Brightside.
yeah,
Classic.
the usual.
The usual.
Yeah.
Usual. So
And it went off, and I think it was one of their favorite moments of the night, and it's something that they'll all remember forever.
Yep.
And for me to do that is just crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
So what is your teaching style like?
Okay. So sometimes I say everyone teaches differently. Even an art, teaching you an art, everyone's going to do it differently. Everyone's going to paint differently. Everyone's going to take photos differently. Everyone's going to edit differently. Everyone's going to do the Lightroom differently or whatever. But it's how you pursue that. So what I always do is I always go back to the basics. Teach the basics correctly of how to mix properly, and just all the really basic skills. I always look at it because as a swim coach myself, is I always go back to basics. I remember at my swim school, it was a quite elite swim school. My boss was the Olympic coach of the Olympic coach for the women's, and he trained them. So he taught me a lot of stuff. So our levels were like really high, and I taught a 7-year-old who could do perfect butterfly and every stroke perfectly to Olympic style, and it was amazing. And she was probably tiny; she was this tall. But I went to another swim school, and I was expecting it's an amazing swim school. It's going to be awesome. They're going to be so good, and I was let down. And I was like, okay, you guys are learning breaststroke. This is like level 5, 6, or level 6, 7, or whatever. We're going to level 1, and we're going to teach you how to glide, because they couldn't do the basics, and that's a part of the breaststroke is gliding, and it's a part of every single stroke ever. So if you can't do gliding, you can't do every stroke, basically. So that's what I always do. I always go back to basics and teach them from the ground up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and get to their levels, level 7, and we start there. And then it's easy. It's so easy. We get the basics correctly, and we start from there. Doesn't matter if you've been DJing for a few times or whatever. It's always back to the basics, and that's what I do best, and it's the easy stuff, really. And then also I've created a lot of formulas and methods that I do that I've made in my years of doing it. I remember one time someone said something about how to mix mainstream songs, and I was just like, oh, okay. I create a formula, and I was just like, boom, done. And that's how I'm never going to stuff up a mix, because sometimes you're like, oh, I don't know where the choruses are, or I don't know where a certain part is. Okay, done. And that's what we teach in the academy. So I give basically all my knowledge that I've learned over the 13 plus years of DJing. And also I mentioned not spoon feeding you all the answers, is we understand why we do what we do. So just understanding why we do it in a way for you to understand, rather than me spoon feeding you. Here's all the answers. Here's a cheat sheet. No, shouldn't need that. It's more of a hands-on kind of interaction, and that's why I love the one-to-one interaction, as well as when you book with us, you can pick whenever time is suitable according to our calendar. So yeah.
How do you tailor each lessons for students individually?
So every student's going to be learning differently. So some students are very like visual or auditory or kinesthetic, or they really good at reading and writing. So some might be good at visual and I might show them how to do it, or some might be good at reading and writing, so I'll write it on the board. Or some might be good to just listen to it. I try and do all of it, basically, and you can normally work it out. Like I remember you like to do it 3 times. I remember. We're like, make sure we do it 3 times so I know exactly how to do it.
Probably.
So that's how I did it with you, I remember. But always it's just show, you do, and then you see what's better, really, or like, how do we fix that? And I make sure that you work out the answer, not for me to tell you. Also, I feel like every academy student or person that comes in the academy, their journey is different. So I never teach to one DJ always the same. It's always different, I feel, because everyone has their own journey. Everyone has what their goals are, and I make sure that they get those goals. Especially when they're doing the advanced DJing course, especially, is how do you pull yourself apart from anybody else? That's the hugest part. And that's for them to do. I don't want to teach you my way because it's my way. I'll teach you your way. How are you going to pull yourself apart from anybody else? And that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing is, how do you become different? How do you become different? And that's what we teach. Also, if the DJ is preferred to DJ off a particular mixer or decks, they can bring their own mixer or program, whatever they want to DJ off. We DJ off that. So if they want to DJ off Tractor, Serato, Record Box, USBs, whatever they want to do, we do it that way. So it makes it very versatile and tailored for them, because every program is different and they've got different settings, obviously. But really, they're all the same. They're all the same. So I could DJ off anything, really. Even 1990 DJ decks that I DJ'd off at Seton Ball back in the day. It was fun. But I learned how to do it off nothing. And that's what you should be learning. You should be learning without seeing. Without seeing. That's the key thing.
Yeah, well, that's all the questions I have for you today. Do you have anything else to add while we're here?
I think the last one would just say like something that's really different to anything, really. How
There's one more.
there's one more.
You are at 5 minutes. Oh,
That's fine.
okay.
That's fine.
If someone's unsure about joining Diesel Academy, what would you tell them that an ad never could?
Okay. So sometimes if you're DJing and you're like, oh, you quote your quote to your client, right? And you're like, and you get turned down from the client. And you're like, wow, am I worth this much? Maybe I should put my prices down again. But what we teach is to increase your value and your brand, to elevate yourself, to elevate not just you as a person, but your whole branding and your whole self-branding and your whole business brand, basically. And it's how to elevate that to your potential clients, or what your goal is, basically. And to level up your skills in every way possible for private events. So you can charge more, basically, and you can get the big gigs and the fun gigs, and the gigs that you always wanted to do. So your goals, basically. And I feel like DJing is the easy part. That's easy to me. That's so easy. What we teach is more of the DJ side, the business side of things. What no one else teaches, and that's it. The business side of DJing, and it's so much fun. I enjoy it every day, and that's why I do. I went from being an engineer, hating it, working 100 hours in the week, and I got redundant and said, fuck it, I'm just going to do this full time, and this is what I do. And that's exactly what I want to see you do as well, is to leave that job that you always hated and to work for yourself and do what you always love to do, and earn a living in playing music to guests and people all over the world. So, yeah.
That's all the questions.
That's cool. That's cool. Thank you.
Thank you.